For most of us, fishing is a lot about the catching, but for many more of us, fishing is much more about the friendships than it is the fishing. And on this week's show, we're going to celebrate my longest time fishing buddy, our 35 years worth of friendship, and we're going to get in the boat for a few hours for the first time in 16 years. Glad you're along with us. Fox Sports Outdoors is on the air right now.
You're watching the only program with weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news from the Southwest region. This is Fox Sports Outdoors.
Hi everybody, and welcome to this week's show. I'm coming to you today from the newly remodeled Marker 37 Marina at Corpus Christi, Texas. We're going fishing today down at Baffin Bay, one of the most famous fishing spots on the entire planet. But really today is not so much about the fish that we catch today, because I'm going to spend a few hours today fishing with the single human being that I have spent more hours in a boat fishing with the exception of my dad or my brothers. His name is Jim Poole. He's been in the boat business for about 35 years, and I've been fishing with him for every bit of that long. It's going to be a lot of fun today, and we are going to reminisce back over 17 episodes of our old Outdoor Trails television series, and we're going to look back at some of that old video vintage footage. It's going to be a throwback week this week on the show, and I hope it's a lot of fun for you as well as it's going to be for me and for Jim. He's going to join us in our brand new Blazer Bay 2420 GTS boat that we just picked up for this season. Going to go out and run that a little bit today as well. While we're doing that, we're taking you around your local region for this week's fishing reports from our expert team of insider reporters, both freshwater and saltwater, from lakes, rivers, and bays right near where you live. So right now, we make about a 20-mile run down to Baffin Bay. The next time you see us, we'll be down there doing a little fishing, and Jim will be with me in the boat. Right now, let's go back and get things started at the studio with your weekend planner.
Hi everybody, it looks like both days of the weekend will offer good fishing conditions. The Salooner tables are indicating peak activity will take place in the afternoon, starting around 1:04 on Saturday and 1:42 on Sunday. The peak nighttime fishing activity will be in the wee hours of the morning, starting around 12:52 on Saturday and 1:29 on Sunday. Look for the sun to rise at 7:09 and set at 7:51. If you enjoy fishing in the dark, you might enjoy this weekend. Nights will feature a new moon that is only 2% visible. Stay with us for freshwater and coastal fishing information from around the region. Plus, for this week's Ask the Pro question, I'll return with the only angler to have ever won the Bassmaster Classic, Bassmaster Angler of the Year, and Bass Nation Championship, Mike Iaconelli.
So we're with Jim Poole today. Jim is with Waypoint Marine. His son Jared owns the dealership, started the dealership a few years back, and they are the leading provider of saltwater fishing boats up and down the Gulf Coast. So Jim, tell us about Baffin Bay. What is this place, and what is it that makes this the most famous spot to come fishing?
Baffin Bay is actually an ecosystem in itself. It's a huge bay. It's 15 miles deep and 5, 6, 7. You can see behind us here, it's just gigantic. And then what makes it special is that it has these reefs, which is actually, they call them the rocks. They're actually ancient serpulid worm mounds, and these were 3,000 years old. That, of course, holds the bait fish, helps to spawn. These fish stay in Baffin Bay, and there's big fish in Baffin Bay.
Some of the biggest speckled trout that get caught anywhere on the Gulf Coast come right here out of this bay. Some redfish in here as well, so we'll see what happens. But
we're looking for bait right now.
Anywhere you find those little mullet jumping around.
That's the key. Anywhere on Baffin Bay, look for bait, and the fish are going to be somewhere close.
All right, let's see what we can do. Glad you're with us. Baffin Bay fishing today. Let's get back at it.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Mercury, Go Boldly, Lowrance, America's #1 fish finder, Gulf Shores and Orange Beach. Request our free 2019 fishing guide at orangebeach.com.
We were fishing together when things looked a lot different. Technology was different.
There's one, Barry.
Did you get one?
Yep. Got one on the popping cork. We're catching on a little bit of everything today.
There we go. It's trout. That's just a keeper trout right here fishing out off some rocks. But really, you know what? Today's really not so much about the fish we catch today, although we want to catch some today. I'm gonna just flop him over there for just a minute. We'll work on that fish in a minute. Jim Poole and I have got 30 years of, more than 30 years of fishing together, all the way back from before I had a television show. Actually, I had a television show, this is our 35th year, so it would have been before that.
Yeah.
Worked at a big radio station in Dallas, Fort Worth, and we used to fish together, got on several lakes before they opened. But we were fishing together when things looked a lot different, technology was different, and we looked
a lot different.
In fact, I want to roll in some video right here. I want to show you some stuff. First of all, look at the hats.
Oh yeah.
Can you imagine that a fishing hat could be so different than it is today?
Hey, those red and black fin and feather caps were thousands of them everywhere. They were about 8 inches tall and made out of foam.
Big foam trucker hats, and I had the same thing on. And then I want you to check out these shorts.
Yeah, let's talk about the shorts.
Look at my white toothpick legs, fishing in little bitty shorts, look like gym shorts or something. And you were fishing in cowboy attire.
Oh,
you were in Texas redneck.
Well, that time we was on Palestine, I remember the cameraman was over another boat, and here I am in Wrangler jeans and cowboy boots and a flannel shirt. A plaid flannel shirt.
Now we've got nice fishing jerseys with our names embroidered on them in business and all that kind of thing. I tell you, stuff was a lot different back then. Pistol grip rods, remember those?
Yeah.
Most of you probably don't even know what a pistol grip rod is, but they had a little bitty short handle on the end, about like that. Looked like the grip of a pistol. People did them in ornate wood and all that kind of thing. We caught a bunch of fish back in those days.
We have for a lot of years. We've done some good shows. I'll tell you, a lot of big fish.
You're looking at some of these bass that we caught. Some of these fish, again, close to 30 years ago, more than 30 years ago. And we were catching some 6, 7, and 8 pound bass and just flopping them around, weren't even weighing them. We were just kind of tossing them back like they were nothing back then. I'll tell you, we've had some great adventures. You know, that's what fishing's about. Friendship for this many years. You've moved around a lot. I've moved around some, but yet we've stayed friends for 35 plus years, and that's what fishing will do for you right there. That's just a little bit of what we got to show you, and I'm drifting up on a rock right here. So let's get you some fishing reports, and we'll get back to fishing, see if we can catch you.
All right, let's do it.
Hey friends, Captain Kevin Broussard here with your Fox Sports Louisiana Outdoor Report. Old Cody Gildery with Cody's Crawfish. We came up to Toledo Bend. I tell you what, springtime action's going on. We still having a few little fronts come through, but I tell you what, the bass are biting. Best in about 2 to 5 foot of water. Tell you what, we've been slow rolling spinner baits. We've been throwing chatter baits, doing a little bit of Cinco fishing. White perch fishermen also doing good. I tell you what, on the coast, saltwater fish is kicking off. Tell you what, lots of trout getting caught, a few redfish all along the Louisiana Gulf Coast. If y'all want to make a trip or just have a question for us, you can contact Cajun Phil or Captain Kevin Broussard. Happy fishing. May God bless. We're going to see you next week.
There's one right there.
All right, Barry, you wait till I got back here tying on the bait.
Yep, here we go. This is a good fish, whatever it is. I don't know if it's a trout or a redfish. Got in a school of redfish. Slide a net under him. A fairly light line on here.
All right, there you go.
A little bit better.
I was back there tying a new bait on, and you're up here catching fish, Barry.
There's your Baffin Bay Red. That's what you catch when you're waiting on a trout to bite.
Yeah.
That's
we're going to be in both. We're going to catch, when you got this much bait working out here, we're going to be in reds and trout.
All right, well, that's just a little bit more action. Okay, here's what I want to do right now. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, but as we do, we're going back retro. This is going to be throwback, the funniest moment of 17 episodes that happened. We were fishing Lake Falcon, which is actually not too far from here, and you threw out and caught about a 4-pound bass.
Yeah.
And you did it using a certain technique. You said you threw it out there, let that spinnerbait go down, and scratched your nose.
Yeah, I got that spinnerbait about halfway back, and I couldn't stand it, so I stopped, scratched my nose, and about that time, that 4-pounder just nailed it.
So he catches the fish, gets it in the boat. We're talking about him scratching his nose, and so I said, well, we're going to demonstrate, and I'll scratch my nose.
And you couldn't stop laughing.
And so watch, we're going to a quick commercial break, but as we do, watch what happens when I scratch my nose just like he did. Now let me demonstrate this. You throw it out there, okay, throw it out there, get it coming, and then you stop, you scratch your nose like that,
and then
and then he hits it like that. Oh, gun it up. He did hit it. Look at him. He's coming after
Yeah,
it.
look at that bull.
That's crazy.
I told you, Bert.
Look at that bull.
I told you.
Throw it there and catch him.
Do I have to scratch
Got
my
him,
nose?
got him, got him,
There
got
you
him.
go. That's all you got to do. Look here, we got a double. Wait, I forgot to scratch my nose.
I can't believe this. I can't believe it. It worked. Give me 5. Oh, man. Oh, folks, we have invented the brand new.
I told you, I learned that many years
The brand
ago.
new scratch your nose spinnerbait. We did one of the few television nighttime fishing episodes. There we go.
There you go.
Pull my cork down.
Another one on a popping cord.
Let's see what I got. Let's see what I got.
About like that last one.
Yep.
Got all about the same size here.
Well, there's action anyway. We're actually catching a few fish. We were actually scared that we might not catch any fish because the fishing's just been so difficult really this spring down here around Corpus, but there's just another, that would be a keeper. You could actually make a mess of frying fish out of that. Hey Jim, step down here just a second. I want to mention one other thing. We've got 2 other memories reminisce about. One, you saved that one. The first one is the night show. We did one of the few television nighttime fishing episodes that I can ever remember. We rigged up a real elaborate light rig with some big halogen lights and a foot switch and big batteries and fished all night long at Lake Fork, Texas, famous Lake Fork, big bass lake.
Buzz baits.
And we caught them on buzz baits and spinner baits and caught them caught them on camera. You're looking at some of the night footage we did. We had a guy sitting on the outboard engine with a spotlight, Q-beam spotlight, and we would spotlight the fish while we were reeling them in. And so that made a really fun episode of our show that we did back in the Outdoor Trails days.
But the one time we was on Lake Guerrero, and I had that big fish on. The guy dives at him with the net, hangs the crankbait, gets off. 2 casts later, you get a big one on, and you're saying,
That's good fish.
Wait.
Oh, big fish, big fish.
Wait.
Just wait just a second. Now. Oh, big fish.
Woo! Man,
There you
look at
go,
this
Barry.
fish. I didn't want him anywhere near my fish with a net. Jim lost about an 8 or 9 pounder, and then I caught one about 7
and
or
then
8
about
pounds.
3 casts later, I get one on. You don't even let the guy get the net. You're coming to the back of the boat with the net.
And then your biggest one, the biggest bass that's ever been caught on our show, you caught.
That's a story.
Real quick.
We were fishing Sugar Lake, and the fishing was
Mexico.
a little tough. Catching them on spinner baits, we kind of narrowed them down to these stick-ups. Barry throws in, big bull. He throws in, big bull. He throws in, big bull. Then he throws about 10 times. I just sat back. I didn't cast.
Couldn't stand it.
You turned the trolling motor, and I made 1 cast in there, and he hit it, and we caught him.
10 pounds and 5 ounces, biggest bass that ever got caught on our show during the whole Outdoor Trails days, and he caught it down at Sugar Lake, Mexico. You're seeing a shot of that great big old bass right there. But again, just some more of the fun times that we had over the years. We had forgotten about a lot of these until I pulled all this old footage out. And
17 of them.
17 episodes, and we've watched every minute of every one, just remembering some of the great times that we had. All right,
Let's
get
go.
back to fishing. Go fish.
Hi everybody. This week's Lone Star Lakes is once again brought to you by the good folks at Fiberworks Marine Collision. When bad things happen to good boats, Fiberworks will put them right quickly at a good price. Now this week we're going to start on Little Lake Aquila, just south of Lake Whitney. Aquila is a small lake, but a recent Texas Parks and Wildlife survey, they shocked up crappie well over 2 pounds, several bass over 10 pounds, catfish over 30 pounds. We're going to start with a crappie. You'll still find them shallow. They are starting to transition to the deep water, but you can still go up shallow. Now I mentioned it was near Lake Whitney. Lake Whitney bass are still in spawning mode. Go up into just about any major or secondary creek and you'll find plenty of shallow bass. That's this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you once again by the good folks at Fiberworks Marine Collision. Look us up, Lone Star Lakes, on Facebook.
Now, I don't want you to put any money on this, but I'm going to predict that Sardis Lake right here behind me barring any heavy rains with runoff here in the next few days, is going to be one of the first Oklahoma lakes to really explode for some great bass and crappie fishing. As I've told you before, Chuck Justice says this is one of his very favorite big bass lakes, and he knows all about big bass. The watercolor is good, lake level is good. I talked to 2 crappie fishermen out here today who've been fishing under the bridge. They've been catching some crappie. They said best depth about 8 to 10 feet. Springtime, you gotta love it here in Oklahoma because the fish are biting, but you can't catch them if you don't go.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Lose. Feel the difference. Gene LaRue and Bobby Garland, the best in bass and crappie lures, heads to tails. Glacier Glove. Stay outdoors longer with our gloves, hats, and shades. Balls Out. Made in the USA. Heavy-duty mounts for your fish finders.
Want to bring up one more memory before we get out of here.
Hi, I'm Captain Joey Fair with your South Texas Regional Report, brought to you by Waypoint Marine, Roy's Bait and Tackle, Marker 37, and DOA Lures. This week we're jumping into spring. Trout are really spawning, so concentrate your efforts wading in 2 to 3 foot of water, which we're having a really good influx of shrimp coming into the bay system, so we're putting a jig head in these 3-inch DOA shrimp, and along the intercoastal down in the Land Cut and Port Mansfield, black drum spawn is on as well. Fishing in South Padre is really good. The Brownsville Ship Channel is heating up with snook spawning in the Brownsville Ship Channel, and as well as the jetties there, they're really catching a lot of sheephead. So come on down to South Texas, let us show you a good time.
Well, I'll tell you what, we have just about fished our way through this entire day, and the fog is settling in and starting to get dark, and the fishing has not been good today, but it's a good thing that the fishing today was really never what this was about anyway. I want to bring up one more memory before we get out of here, and that's with your son.
Yeah,
Jared.
That was a while back.
I tell you, I want to show you something first. I want to show you a quick shot of a trip last year where Jared and I came out, and Jared caught a really nice trout up in the Land Cut. We were with Joey Farrell, one of the guides here, and this is what Jared looks like right now. How old is Jared right now?
45.
45 right now, but we're going to transition when Jared was 16 years old. I took him fishing at a brand new lake. In fact, you and Hal J with WBAP Radio, me, Jared, and a bunch of other people went out on one of the local lakes just before it opened in Dallas-Fort Worth. And this is what Jared looks like with me and him in short shorts.
Oh yeah, both of you.
And we were actually catching a lot of fish that day. In fact, we're catching doubles. Just another great memory of getting to fish with Jared when he was 16, and now he's down here. He owns Waypoint Marine, leading marine dealer on the entire Texas coast, and actually making big waves up and down the entire Gulf Coast right now.
Selling all the way to Louisiana, Florida, all up and down the coast.
Well, I'll tell you, they put us in our Blazer Bay boats. These guys do a great job rigging them here at Waypoint Marine, and you can contact them at the information you see on your screen. Get in touch with Jared or his whole crew. They do a great job down here in Corpus Christi, but if you live anywhere up and down the entire length of the Gulf Coast, you can contact them and they will put you in a great Blazer Bay boat or one of the other great boats that they service there. Jim, it's been a great day today reminiscing.
Buddy, one more time.
You know, if we hang in there another 35 years like we did the first 35.
What are we gonna look like then?
You can always watch our latest episode on the front page of our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com. Catch up on past episodes and learn about fishing techniques and new gear at our how-to page. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter for new fishing videos every day. Simply search for Fox Sports Outdoors and click the like button on Facebook and the follow button on Twitter, and watch a new episode every week on any device by downloading the free Waypoint TV app on your phone, tablet, computer, or smart TV. Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by MotorGuide's wireless and easy-to-use XI3, Waypoint Marine, the Gulf Coast's leading saltwater boating specialist, Strike King, Taiwan Han, and Tracker Boats, America's best-selling fishing boats.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's get right to your Ask the Pro question for this week. Greg wants to know, what was your favorite single catch of your life? For your answer, we asked the multi-champion Mike Iaconelli.
You know, my favorite fish catch of all time, I can't just give you one, I have to give you two. And the first one is the first bass I ever caught in my life. I was about 10 years old, it was in the Pocono Mountains in Pennsylvania. I took a lure out of my grandfather's box. It was a 9S floating Rapala minnow. I threw it out there and I had a really nice 2-pound, 2.5-pound bass eat it on top. It's the first bass I ever caught. It was the fish that got me hooked in the sport of fishing and in bass fishing. But you know, my favorite of all time in a tournament for sure is a fish that I caught in the last few minutes of competition at the 2003 Bassmaster Classic in New Orleans, Louisiana. It was a 3-pound largemouth that put me over the top. It was the fish that I caught in the last couple seconds of that day, and it helped me win the Classic. That one fish changed my life.
Thank you, Mike. If you want some help from one of the pros, simply go to foxsportsoutdoors.com and follow the Ask the Pro link to submit a question. Now it's time to find out who wins this week's Big Catch of the Week.
We are back at the boat ramp, and it's time right now for this week's winner in the Big Catch of the Week contest. Somebody gets their big fish shown on television right now. He is Webb Riera of Sulphur Springs, Texas, with a 9-pound largemouth bass he caught at Lake Ray Hubbard in Texas. And as a bonus, here are a couple of others. John Harris with a 53-pound flathead catfish, and John Tapp with a 9-pound largemouth bass, again, both caught at Lake Ray Hubbard in Texas. If you'd like to have a chance to be our next winner and have your fish shown on television, go to our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com and follow the link on the right side of the homepage to send us your photo. You can also go to our Facebook page, facebook.com, and search for Fox Sports Outdoors, and you can post your big fish as a comment there. In either place, you'll be eligible to be our next winner. Well, spending some time in the boat with my great friend Jim Poole for the first time in 16 years has reminded me about how important friendships really are. God never created any of us to be alone. He created all of us to be relational beings. And it reminds me that friendships, especially those that last a long time, are worth fighting for. It takes some hard work to fight through the obstacles. So if you have a friend that you haven't talked to in a long time, it might be worth it just to pick up the phone, give them a call, make contact, and keep those friendships going. I can speak from experience that after 35 years looking back over that history, it is well worth it and very rewarding. I hope you enjoyed our trip down memory lane as much as I did on this week's episode. And if you'd like to book your very own fishing trip here to Baffin Bay or to Corpus Christi Bay, Texas, you can do that at the information you see on your screen for Captain Joey Farah with Joey Farah's Backwater Adventures. He stays on the fish, especially during all of the warm weather months, and he can put you on them if you'd like to make your own trip here. Now, as we sign off this week, I've been signing off the same way for 35 years on television. So, from Baffin Bay in Corpus Christi, Texas, one more time, Jim Poole and I say,
Be safe, have fun. Bye-bye, y'all.